Welcome everyone to the Weekend Rift Wars Week 3 lower bracket finals. Uh, I don't know if we have any new faces in the chat. Nix is quite busy right now, therefore, he's not streaming the grand final. So, the finalist from the stream title, you can see it's Team Vainglorious versus Team Vintage. Both teams are from Pakistan. Uh, and if you guys don't know me, if you're new in the chat, then I'm Riddle. I'm also a caster and I stream a lot as well. A lot of Wild Rift stuff here and there. Other than that, we are gonna get into the game soon. So, to you guys, like in the chat, like who do you guys are predicting as like the winners for this series? Who do you have ready? Who do you guys have as the favorites for this? It's best of five or something. Right. I think it's a best of five. I'm assuming. Then I can check on the Discord right now, actually. Hmm. Other than that, start करें. And we are in to the game. We are into the grand finals, and this is the first game from the grand finals between Team Vintage versus Team Vainglorious. The first ban comes through from the side of Vainglorious is the Riven ban. I think that's a target ban to Sleepy Yin, or better known as Show. Uh, this is a target ban towards him, and then answer back comes through with a Rakan ban. So it's a Baron laner for in trade of a support ban from the side of Vintage. And other than that, let's see what we have in store for the rest of this draft. Do you guys have any idea like who's gonna actually win this? Like after all the games you have seen today, who do you guys in the chat consider as the favorites to win this? Second ban coming through as the Diana falls to the bans from the side of Vainglorious, and the Yumi ban coming through. So heavily targeted towards support pool of Inertia with the Yumi and Rakan ban. VG may win the tournament, but Team Kaze will win our hearts. Guys, it's Team Vintage. Come on. It's not Team Kaze, it's Team Vintage. Get used to the new name. And the last ban coming through from the side of Vainglorious, it's the Katarina ban. And let's see how does Team Vintage answer back. And it's all three support bans. The Lulu is off the table. So the first pick immediately logged in from Astray is the Olaf pick. I'm assuming it's going to be going in the jungle. Let's see how does Team Vintage answer back with this uh, the first two picks, and they lock in the Karma. And let's see what they pair this Karma up with. I can see a Teemo hover and a Kale hover. I'm not sure if that's actually going to be it. I don't think that will be the main pick that will be taken by Team Vintage. Kale is not a champion that I've seen recently in the meta, and yeah, that explains the Xayah pick. Xayah is a much more sensible pick. A more after that last roller coaster of a game with TDT, it was like what do we say? It was almost heartbreaking for Vintage, but then somehow at the end we broke the hearts of TDT. TDT came so close to winning the game, and then Sleepy Inn had other plans, and they just secured the back door. With that being said, the second pick coming through from the side of Vainglories is the Akali pick. Uh, and they pair up that Akali with a Darius. So you can see from the top side of the map has been already picked from the side of Vainglories. They have picked all three of their uh, the top side of the map. They have their Baron laner, they have their jungler, they have their mid laner. And on the side of Team Vintage, we can see that they have opted for a more of a bottom side uh, first three picks, where they have picked up their support, perhaps mid laner even. It could be a mid lane pick as well, but for now we're gonna assume it's a support pick with the Karma, Zaya, and Lee Sin. We are into the second ban phase, and the first ban coming through from the side of Team Vintage will be perhaps the Alistar. Oh no, it's never mind. It's the Ezreal. Ezreal gets taken off from the side of Team Vintage. Uh, let's see what does Team Vainglorious answer back with. And it's a last second Graves ban. Again, once again, targeting the pool of Sleepy Yin. He had an exceptional performance on the Graves in that last game, and it's I think a respect ban from the side of Vainglorious. So let's see how does Team Vintage answer back with their last ban, and it will be the Caitlyn. Yep, it's the Caitlyn on the side of the last ban coming through from the side of Team Vintage is the Caitlyn. Let's see what does Team Vainglorious answer back with. And I'm gonna see it's a Camille ban. So you can see a common trend, like Team Vintage is targeting the bot side of the map of Vainglorious, and on the other side it's the top side from the Vainglorious players. They're targeting the top side of the map from Team Vintage. Both teams have understood each other's strength quite effectively and are playing according to that strength, and they're like making sure that they hurt the champion pools of either sides. And right now the fourth lock-in from the side of Team Vintage is going to be the Galio. Now let's see how does Team Vainglorious answer back. It's going to be an ADC pick or perhaps a support pick. Those are the last two roles. Let's see what does Team Vainglorious answer back with. And right now, the last lock in coming through from the side of Team Vainglorious, pairing up with that Leona, will be a Kaisa or a Lucian. I can see two champions being hovered. It's gonna be either of the two. And then the Lucian lock in comes in from the side of Vainglorious. Let's see how does Team Vintage answer back. What are they gonna pair up? Where is this last champion gonna go? Because right now, the Galio is flexible in the Baron or in the mid or even perhaps the support if they really want to bring back an old classic from a previous patch with the Galio support. And it's a set lock in, so I'm guessing it's going to be a Galio mid and set top and with a Karma support. Or if maybe it is okay, maybe perhaps it is a Galio support. Empo, the support player from the previous games, has decided to take the Galio in his own hands. That means he might be picking this champion into the support role. Whereas on the side of Team Vainglorious, we have a Darius, Olaf, Akali, Lucian, so Leona bot lane. Quite a what do we say, diverse comp. It's not a traditional team fighting comp, but rather it's a very pick focused comp. In a way, you could say, like the Leona locks onto multiple targets and then they pair up with an Olaf, run down with an ultimate, and then maybe Akali just jumps on the backline and the Lucian is providing damage from the front, and maybe Darius can be like a flank or a split push. Whereas on the side of Team Vintage, you can see it's a very basic team fight comp with uh, the set you being utilized as a split pusher or an answer to the Darius, and then the Lee Sin, Galio, Karma, Zaya are gonna be playing around the objectives themselves. So it's like, so we are entering the first game of the lower bracket week 3 finals of the Weekend Rift Wars. This is hosted by Wild Rift India, by the way, guys. You can check out the Discord, the links in the description. And final predictions, anyone? Any predictions? So, alright, we are into the laning phase now. You can see that there's a scrap, a little bit of a standoff going on between the Set and the Darius. Sleepy Yin and Astray going aggressively. I don't know if you should be taking that fight with the Darius early game because of the stacks. Lee Sin decided to start around the jungle, around the Raptors, and he'll be moving into the red buff. The bot lane is being shoved from the side of Vainglorious. Vainglorious are pushing back the Team Vintage bot lane, and Karma getting heavily poked by the Akali. Olaf decided to go for a full 2 camp clear right now. Instead of going for the Raptors, he's decided to go for the Krugs, which makes sense in a way. If the team Vainglorious is often known to play around their bot lane, therefore it's interesting how they're gonna play around this. And you can see that the Lucian and Leona already roaming to the mid lane, and they decide to okay, this is looking like a setup, maybe perhaps, but there's a vision from the side of Team Vintage. They are well aware of this play. Lee Sin on the other side, he's gonna have a contest with the Olaf right now. Darius is moving up front from the river, and this is gonna be a very close 2v2, and they're gonna give up the scuttle to the Olaf. Leona was also moving up front, so I think that's a good decision from the side of Lee Sin to not to contest for that scuttle crab. Already now, from the first minute, you can see Team Vainglory is being very proactive. They're utilizing map pressure. They're sending members back and forth around the map, making sure that Team Vintage has, okay, Leona goes in, and this is a knock up. Ignite comes through from the side of Leona on the Zaya, and they all back away safely. There's nothing that's gonna come off of that play. Both junglers playing very safe right now, and you can see there's a red trinket from the side of okay, it's a red team trinket, I think. Yeah, it's a red team trinket. uh, and nothing much more to say right now. This early game is pretty stale right now compared to the previous games which we were having between TDT and Team Vintage. It was a very action-packed game right from the start, so it's exciting to see that how teams are right now playing very calculated, and they're not taking risk right now with their plays, because I think the one team that takes the risk, if it backfires on them, then that's going to open the floodgates, and it will completely push back the team in the game. Okay, you can see there's a setup being built up right now. The blue team's not aware of this right now. The Darius is not aware. Astray is right now just gonna think this is a normal skirmish, and the ult comes through, and this could be perhaps first blood. They're gonna run him down. It's gonna first blood comes through for the side of Team Vintage. Beautiful pickup from the Sleepy Yin with the Set ultimate, pairing up with the Lee Sin perfectly. And Olaf on the other side on the bot lane, you can see he's trying. Vainglories are trying to replicate a similar thing. Olaf ultimate comes through, and the Leona ult goes wide, and they completely run down the Galio. A more trying to get something back, but unfortunately he will not be able to pick off a kill for himself or anything. He's just gonna have to take the CS and back away safely. Vainglorious immediately taking a kill back, and again there's a trade of kill on the other side of the map. Darius gets taken down once more by Sleepy Yin and not Kamikaze, and Team Vintage now taking a lot of plates right now, but you can see Touchy Shark coming in for the flank. Touchy Shark is looking for a flank right now, and I'm not sure if he can pick up a kill here. Let's see how they pair this up, and this is looking good. There's a 1 kill, and it's a double kill for Touchy Shark. Touchy Shark picks up a double kill with Akali. Well played by Touchy Shark, picking a kill for himself. backing away safely. Nothing too more. But you can say this is the turret health has been affected very badly. Like it's on to the last chunk. So right now, a lot of gold in the pocket of Team Vintage with the Sleepy Inn and not Kamikaze having a lot of gold in the favor. The objectives now coming online right now. For 13 seconds left. You can see river control is starting. Their pings are coming through for river control from both sides. Team Vintage right now are on the control of the dragon. They have most of the members here, but there's a one ward in the pit from Team Vainglorious which makes them aware, and I don't know if they're going to look for a gank here on Touchy Shark, but Touchy Shark backs away safely. Both teams now setting up for a skirmish around this Drake, and it's going to get started from the side of Team Vainglorious. What's the score line so far? Score lines is 0-0 Knicks, right? 0-0 between the two teams. This is the first game. Team Vainglorious have 3 kills right now versus the 2 of Team. Oh, this could. I don't know what's happening here. Ibra almost gets run down. I think they tried to pick off the Akali, but then Astra was there to back him up. But you can see right now, Team Vintage members are split. They're split up right now. I don't know if this should be the right play from their side. And they're immediately going to run down the 2 members on the side of Team Vintage. And Team Sleepy Yin gets taken down. But Zaya is trying her best to do a lot of damage. She immediately trades the kill onto the Kali. And the Darius gets taken down. The kick back from the Lee Sin. And the auto attack from the Zaya. And it's enough to grab another kill. And 4 members down from the side of Team Vainglorious. And this is going to be an early ace for Team Team Vintage. Pick up an early ace for themselves. And they're going to pick up the dragon for themselves as well. My god, a fight that almost slipped out of the hands of Team Vintage that somehow turned back into their favor. Very well played from the side of Team Vintage, immediately playing so well with them, with their abilities, making sure that they do not give up too much with their plays. So immediately the recalls come through from the side of Team Vintage, and they're looking to go play for this Herald. They're immediately moving up front, and the Herald's been started by Team Vainglorious. Team Vainglorious have started the Rift Herald, but you can see Team Vintage are immediately there to answer. So it's going to be a 4v4 skirmish between the two teams for this objective. Oh, it's a pullback from the set. And immediately you can see the Galleon set running down, and Lee Sin picks up the Herald despite the Olaf ultimate, and they one-shot the Olaf completely. Kamikaze picks up the kill on the Olaf, but meanwhile Touchy Shark in the back line is grabbing a double kill. Meanwhile another double kill comes through from the side of Lee Sin, and it's what? Did you guys see that? Honeyfruit was in the middle of the lane. And once again a very even trade, but the Herald went in the favor of Team Vintage, and they pick up the first turret without even dropping the Herald. So now they have another objective to play for around the map. Right now it's so despite the kills being in 3 kills being in favor of Team Vintage, it's still neck and neck between the two teams. It's a 3k gold difference, and the Herald is going to get dropped in the mid lane. You can see that they're going to try to fight for this. Team Vainglorious are going to make sure that the Herald does not grab too much. It takes one turret, but they're going to stop it immediately. There's nothing more that's going to build off of that, but you can see that there's some play being set up around the bot lane. Team Vintage are well aware of this, and they're immediately sending 2 more members on the bot lane just to assist the Zaya and Galio. Team Vintage looking tough to beat, to be honest. Honestly, like, they're playing exceptionally well. One thing to note that this team was made in 1 week ago. They're not a long-standing lineup. These players just came together 1 or 2 weeks ago, and the players have been shifting back and forth. They were testing multiple players, so it's like it's very impressive that they have come together and managed to play this well with each other. Like, they seem very in sync with each other. Oh, there's a play, four-man dive being set up from the side of Team Vintage. They're trying to run down the Lucian, and they're immediately gonna set immediate one shots the Lucian, and the Galio ultimate looks good. It's gonna take down the Leona, and the Lee Sin kickback takes down the kill on to the Olaf. No, wait, no. Olaf is still here. No, no, Olaf is still here. And it's a double kill for the Olaf, and Team Vain Glorious have turned it around. It's a triple kill for the Olaf. So immediately answer back comes through from the Team Vain Glorious side. They grab 4 kills in the trade of 3, but you can see Team Vintage is right now still very competitive in the fights. They're not giving up too much. Is it a comp diff? I'm not sure. Like, in a way, yes, because like Team Vintage have a very simple draft to execute compared to Team Vain Glorious. Team Vain Glorious have a very dual focus comp where they need to pick up kills one on one, or like pick off 1 or 2 members from the back line. So it's harder for them to play team fights. Now you can see that a lot of the momentum will be around the mid lane. Uh, there is a play being set up, and the Darius and the okay, Ash is well aware of this play and immediately just flashes back to safety. Vain Glorious now targeting the Rift Herald perhaps compared to Team Vintage, who are going to prioritize this dragon. They're immediately starting the dragon. The Team Vain Glorious are the ones who are going to be late to this. Team Vintage, I immediately, and Lee Sin picks up the objective, and the ultimate comes through from the Galio, but it's not gonna catch anyone with the taunt and the set ultimate, and it's a 3 members have been taken down, 4 members have been taken down. Triple kill comes through for Touchy Shark. It's a kill on to the Lee Sin from the Olaf, and it's an ace. Team Vain Glorious have aced Team Vintage. Team Vain Glorious are immediately back into the game. As I said, they are focused around the I think it's like very much focused around kills from Team Vain Glorious, and they're doing that very effectively. And they pick up the Herald. Trident picks up the Herald for himself. Team Vintage now scratching their heads. What went wrong there? The items. Here are the items on both teams. Never underestimate VG. Yes, indeed. VG are a very renowned lineup in Pakistan, and they're like one of the longest standing lineups in the country. So they are expected to be the favorites in this. But so far, so I'm very impressed with what Team Vintage are showcasing here. Told you 1 or 2 shutdown is all they need. Uh, yep. Like immediately, like the Touchy Shark is like I think the core member for this lineup right now. He's the one who has the most gold and kills. Therefore, he's the strongest member. And so, like right now, if he managed to pick up a few shutdowns earlier. Therefore, he's like their strongest carry to depend on. So I think Vain Glorious need to play around their Olaf and Akali. Oh, there's a pick off gonna come through from the side of Team Vainglories, but the abilities go wide. They try to pick someone off, but their abilities have gone completely wide, and right now Team Vintage are the ones peeling back. Uh, Team Vainglories wasted a lot of their engaged tools here. The Leona ultimate's out of the window, and a lot of the other plays, a lot of the other abilities are not there anymore, and the Lee Sin goes in. I'm not sure. And the ultimate comes through and they take down the kill on the backhand. Meanwhile, the Darius grabs the kill onto the set, and the fight is still going on over here. Like, it's a very mixed fight. It's a double kill for the Akali, and immediately it's a triple double kill for the Lucian, and two members are alive from the side of Team Vainglories. I have no idea what happened there. It was so back and forth and like split around the map. And it's another turret for the side of Team Vainglorious. Astra picks up the bot tier 2 turret, and I am guessing this will be a third turret for the side of Vainglorious, as Jackie Love will pick up this mid lane turret. Uh, Team Vainglorious now opening up the map very much in their favor, and it's starting to seem like the other members are starting to get online from the side of Team Vainglorious. Team Vainglorious other members are starting to get online. They are looking pretty strong and they're scaling up fairly well. Now another fight being set up around this band. You can see the pings are coming through from the side of Vainglory. I think they're going to try to bait one or two members from the side of Team Vintage. Now it's up to Team Vintage if they fall for this play or not. I think they got the idea. Team Vintage are not gonna fall for this, so they're immediately setting up around this Drake. You can see the pings are coming through from both sides, and Galio has recalled. Team Vainglory can go for this. They have the numbers advantage here. Okay, Zaya got one shot. Uh, Quite questionable from the side of Team Vintage there. I am not sure what was the play there. And that will be a free dragon for the side of Team Vainglorious, and you can see their Team Vainglorious members are not done yet. They're looking to pick off one or more members here. Team Vainglorious now once again not stopping the pressure. Once they have picked up their lead, they're gonna pressure you around the map. They're gonna force you to play back in your own jungle.
Red team lost a turret.
Oh, it's a rundown coming through from the Olaf. Olaf's running down the Karma, and the Karma ultimate is not gonna do anything for you. But somehow Karma managed to survive, and I don't know if this is gonna be the fight that Team Vintage needs. But no, that's not looking like the case, as one member's been already taken down and another member falls from the side of Team Vintage, and the Darius has got their resets and he's going in, and Asher is gonna fall, and Akali's in, and I'm not sure what Touchy Shark was doing there, but he's gonna get taken down as well. Zaya's back into this fight, and Zaya's running down the Olaf. Zaya's gonna look to grab the kill onto the Olaf, but she immediately turns back because she knows if she moves a little bit more further, then Lucian's gonna probably show up and back up the Olaf, and that will not be good for them. Team Vintage now having some room to breathe. Like, they have some agency to, like, play for right now. They have some gold back in their favor. Gold graph. Wait. How do I check the gold graph? Wait, what? I might look like a dumb person here, but I have no idea what the gold graph is. But sure, I think this is the same thing. Oh, there's a play being set up here around the river. So it's a standoff between the two teams here. No team wants to go for this Baron because I'm pretty sure the either team that picks up this Baron, they have a very strong chance to end the game here. Team Vainglory's once again playing around this bush entrance. Like they really want to pick up multiple members, and they're actually gonna go for this Baron. Team Vintage are well aware of this, but their members are nowhere near this objective, and they're just gonna have to give this up in trade of the Elder Dragon. But they're immediately coming for this. Team Vainglories are immediately running them down. Touchy Shark is coming in fast for this. Let's see if they can get there in time, and I am not sure if this is gonna be it's gonna be very close. And Lee Sin takes up the Elder Dragon, but it's a matter of if they can win the fight right now. The Elder, but that's not looking like the case because triple kill comes through for Touchy Shark, and Jackie Love is running down a more, and I think the Elder was not the play Team Vintage was looking for. I think they should have played stuck around to contest for the Baron maybe, but I think this will be it. This will be it. Uh, and that's it. The Lucian culling was enough to run them down. That will be a last kill falling through for Team Vainglorious. And they go 1-0 up in this best of 5. And yeah, a valiant effort from Team Vintage. Team Vintage are like they really are showing up right now. They're playing very well. They're not someone that's getting steamrolled by the opposition team, and they have made this game very competitive. The final scores are 29 to 20. The MVP comes through for Touchy Shark. The SPP falling for Sleepy In on the side of Team Vintage. Very well played game from side of Touchy Shark. He played exceptionally well on that pick, and we'll be moving on into the next game. What do you guys think of that first game in the chat? Like, leave your thoughts. What was the game breaking point for the side of Team Vainglorious and Team Vintage? Like, where do you think the game slipped out of the hands for Team Vintage? And we have jumped immediately to the second game. Here it begins the draft of the game 2. Vainglorious are 1-0 up against Team Vintage. Let's see what the fun first ban comes through from the side of Team Vintage. What is it going to be? Will they target the same support in bot lane pool from the side of Team Vainglorious, or are they going to switch up the bans completely? And that looks like the case. They immediately banned the Akali, as that was the big problem from the last game. And Team Vainglorious immediately answered back with the Olaf ban. Second ban coming through is the Yumi on the side of Team Vintage, answered back with a Riven ban. Team Vainglorious once again just, like they're still targeting the same champions from the side of Team Vintage. Like they're still targeting the top side of the map of Team Vintage. Whereas for Team Vintage, they're now switching up the bans. They're mixing up with this Baron. Like it's a mix up between the support Baron and what do we say? Mid lane picks. And the last ban from the side of Team Vainglorious was the Lee Sin, and Team Vintage immediately first pick up the Rakan. And let's see how does Team Vainglorious answer back. They pick up the Tristana. Again, another hyper carry, and they pair that up with the Lulu. If you guys watch the game against TDD versus Team Vintage, game 2, TDD and TDD had run the Lulu Tristana comp, and they made that comp work exceptionally well. They were like, Tristana and Lulu were a very brutal force to be reckoned with. So I can see why Team Wayne Groves have decided to pick these two champions. They I guess they have the idea they want to hurt Team Vintage the same way Team TDD did in that game. So the first three picks come through, and it's uh, Graves and Katarina from the side of Team Vintage. Katarina was a heavily banned pick in this game, and so it's in the previous series. In the previous series, Katarina was taken off in every game. So I'm excited to see what does Team Vintage bring with this Katarina. Like, what do they do with this Katarina? And you can see the last pick from the side of Team Wayne Groves was the Wukong. And we are into the second ban phase. The first ban from the side of Team Wayne Groves is the set pick. This early Kata pick is questionable. I sort of agree with you in a way, like because it's like the top lane and support, the top lane mid lane pick is still available, so they can really pick heavy CC champions in these two lanes and just shut down the Katarina. So I wonder how does Team Vintage how does Team Vintage play around this possibility. And you can see the last ban coming through from the side of Team Wayne Glorious is the Jarvan ban. Shen ban on the side of Team Vintage. They are not allowing the Team Wayne Glorious to have that many options this side of Baron lane, eliminating any possible picks that could work. So let's see what are the first picks in the second pick phase. And it's a Diana lock-in. See, I think Diana is a pretty good pick against Katarina in my opinion. Like Katarina ultimates and you immediately shut it down with a Diana ultimate, or with a Wukong ultimate as well, or even a Tristana knockback. Uh, there like a lot of CC on the side of Team Wayne Glorious. I don't know how will Katarina play around this. And it's an Ezreal lock-in from the side of Team Vintage. So let's see what's the last pick on the side of Team Vintage. What's going to round up their comp. It's going to be the Nunu from the side of Team Vintage. So it's a very front to back comp. I think the idea is that Team Vintage will play around the engages, and they will like try to set up the plays themselves, in a way. And Cyan lock in. Cyan is a pick that is allowed in the tournament. I remember checking earlier in the day. Cyan is allowed, and it's Samir is the banned pick from the tournament. So Cyan is the Cyan just got released yesterday, so I'm excited to see how does this champion work out in pro play. I'm excited to see what Asher does on the champion. Let's hope we have an exciting and action-packed game, like just like we did in the last game. I hope for the same action. And we're into the champ selects. I mean, not sorry, not into the champ select, into the loading screen. Uh, I'm still recovering from that ARAM tournament we had recently. It, it's still on my mind. And we're into the game. Game 2 between Team Vintage versus Team Vainglorious. Let's see who comes out on top. Will Team Vainglorious go 2-0 up, or are they going to, or Team Vintage, are they going to level up the score and make it 1-1 between the two teams? Oh, there's an invade happening from the side of Team Vintage. Team Vintage go for an invade, and they're immediately they burn a flash from the side of Astra. Astra burns his flash, and they're forcing back Trident completely, and they're just gonna pick up this red buff for not Kamikaze. And you can see on the other side they're looking to trade the same way. Touchy Shark is trying to pick up the red buff for himself, and they're not done yet. Team Vintage are gonna try picking up first blood here. They're gonna shut down the. Oh, is the Katarina gonna survive? And Katarina has to burn her flash for this. Team Vainglory immediately pick up the red buff for themselves as well, helping their jungler grab the jungle cap for themselves. And Wukong is not done yet. Wukong is gonna take another camp. Trident picking up the Raptors as well. So I'm not sure overall if this was a worth play from the side of Team Vintage. Ignite comes through from the side of Lulu. Lulu burning up the Ignite on the Rakan, forcing him back even more, making him think about his engages even more. Trident now on the bot side of the map, taking up the Scuttle. Kamikaze still taking his blue buff, but he already has the Scuttle Crab. So it's even between the two sides, and the Rakan here is very low. There's a gank or a dive being set up perhaps. Trident picking up the Krugs. Ezreal is gonna get doved on from the Tristana, and Jackie Love is super low here. If Ezreal manages to pick up the ultimate right now, there is a very high chance he can snipe with the ultimate. And he picks up the kill onto the Tristana. Tristana falls, and I'm not sure Trident if he should have done that, because he gets taken down as well. Not a worth play. Not a worth play for Team Vainglorious. Immediately getting punished here. Meanwhile, the lane between the Graves and Sion, I haven't covered much of it because I've been like expecting a lot of action over here in this lane. So I'm just excited to see how does Sion work in a 5v5 comp. And Ezreal is getting run down again, and Ezreal will fall. And immediately kill back comes through from the side of Team Vainglorious. Team Vainglorious immediately pick up the kill, and meanwhile there's another kill on the side of okay, finally the Sion gets taken down, but the Wukong is there, and the Sion passive is gonna kill the Rakan as well. Scores dead even between the two sides. Meanwhile, a lot of the you can see the snowball connects from the Nunu snowball connects, and Nunu's gonna take down the Tristana completely, and Katarina was looking to gank as well in case she was gonna get away. The damage from the Sion Q is so much, like especially on a squishy target. That's a lot of absurd damage. I don't know how will Sleepy Yin work around this. Okay, he dodges it. Okay, Sleepy Yin is trying to run down the Sion, but I'm not sure if he's gonna go all in for it. Team Vayne Glory is well aware of this Nunu being here in the bot lane. They are aware of the fact that they are over here, but I'm not sure if Team Vintage are aware that the fact of the Wukong is also over here. But you can see that the Drake setup is being made here. The fight around Drake is building up. Shin trying to run down Touchy Shark's Diana. And Sion rushing here with the ultimate. He's gonna go through by not landing a single person with that Sion ultimate. Sleepy Yin getting run down in the flash, and the Rakan immediately disrupting the Wukong completely. And Wukong gets taken down. Diana ultimate catches two members, but right now the fight's looking pretty good for the side of Team Vintage. But Sion immediately answers back, takes down Sleepy Yin. But the members are very squishy on the side of Team Vintage, therefore they have to back away. It's just the Ezreal and the Nunu, and they will have to back away, and they will perhaps be giving up the first turret to Team Vainglorious.
First turret destroyed.
But Drake gets started up from Team Vintage. By the Team Vintage are like once again around this objective. They're not gonna let someone else take it, and they're just gonna take the Infernal Dragon and back away safely. They won't force a fight here, but I'm not sure if Katarina should be up front like this in case of a possible dive. But you can see the members are moving in groups here from the side of Team Vainglories. They're gonna look to play for this Herald. And that's a solo kill. Amor just solo killed Jackie Love, and red team has picked up the Rift Herald on the other side, and they're just gonna pick up this bot turret. There should be a bot turret for the Team Vintage side. I think Nunu should be stopping this river path. Okay, never mind. They've just backed away. They didn't go for this. I think last game, in a way, Team Vintage did not play that much around objective, which costed them a lot. And the engage looks good, and the Wukong gets taken down there. Katrina is running down the Lulu. Lulu barely survives. Sion is coming down with his ultimate though. He will go wide, and oh no, Rakan just got taken down. And this is gonna be a kill on to the Katarina. This is a dive, and the Tristana Buster Shot completely disrupts the Nunu ultimate, and not a single kill comes through from the side of Vintage. All four members have been taken down. Team Vainglory is juggling the turret damage, juggling the aggro completely, and making sure not a single member falls from their side, and the Herald gets the push on the tier 2 turret as well. Sleepy Yin, my dude, I think you're gonna get run down. He has to burn his flash, but I think Team Vainglories are not done yet. They have like all 5 members here. And he's gonna get taken down. Katrina and Nunu are very late to the fight. Ezreal ultimate comes through, but Katrina damage is just non-existent. Katrina is not looking like a good pick for them, and Kamikaze is gonna try to get away, but the Sion ultimate is there to stop him, and Nunu grabs, is good for 1 kill onto the Tristana, and the Nunu ultimate connects. Sion will fall, and that's going to be an ace for Team Vainglorious. Team Vainglorious pick up the ace, and they pick up the turret, and their Team Vainglorious are in the driver's seat. Team Vintage now picking up the
Red
turret for
team lost the
themselves here.
turret.
Team Vintage now, like they need to like somehow get back into the game. I would believe it will be around catching one or two members outside the objective areas, in a way. Like they can like force them in tight positions and you know use their CC very effectively against them, which will give them the kills. And Sleepy In is gonna get run down. Jackie Love
Blue team's
immediately one
champion
shots
slain.
the Graves, and the Scion is running down the Rakan. And once
Blue
again,
team
the
champion
Katrina
slain.
ultimate not good for any kills here. And Nunu
Red
ultimate comes
team
through,
double
and
kill.
no, only
Blue
one
team
member has been
champion
taken
slain.
down.
Red team champion
It's just a
slain.
lack of
Blue
damage on the
team
side of Team
champion slain.
Vintage,
Blue
and
team
Team
champion
Vintage will
slain.
fall
Blue team aced.
for a third time, perhaps, in this game. And it's looking quite clear that this will be perhaps a 2-0 into the series. Team Vainglorious forcing a match point,
Blue
perhaps.
team lost a turret.
Team Vintage will need a miracle in order to come back in this.
Red team has slain the dragon.
Team Vintage now setting up around this Baron. Sorry, not Team Vintage. Team Vainglory setting up around this Baron here. Oh, that's another rundown. Rakan taking a lot of damage. He has to use his ult to get to safety, but they're not good enough for any kill here. And the Scion coming downtown with the ultimate, and he's gonna go all the way through to hit the Nunu. But Nunu is quite tanky, so therefore he's gonna back away safely. And Scion catches two people with his knockup, but the Katrina ultimate looks good here, but there's not enough damage, and the Nunu ultimate connects, but the Diana flank is good from the side of Touchy Shark, immediately taking down. It's a quadra kill for Jackie Love. Jackie
Dominating.
Love picks up the quadra
Killing
kill
spree.
on the
Blue
Tristana.
team aced. Blue team lost a turret.
And it's looking quite clear now. This is where Team
Blue
Vainglorious will
team
look to
lost a
end the
turret.
game, maybe.
Red team champion
And
executed.
Scion gets executed at the end.
Red team wins.
And that puts Team Vainglorious 2-0 up against Team Vintage. Team Vintage now 2-0 down. Match point comes through for Team Vainglorious. The score line goes as 24 to 11. The MVP of the game goes to Jackie Love from the side of Team Vainglorious. Amazing performances coming through from Jackie Love. He was very, very aggressive in this game. Like he was playing, like since the early game, he was playing very aggressively. So he deservingly earned that MVP for himself. Now we're gonna hop on to the third game, perhaps, or that was the final game, maybe. Is it a best of three or is it best of five? Let me confirm. Wait, what? Uh, I think it was a best of 5. Or it was a best of 3. Never mind. Oh, that wait, never mind. We have our champions of the lower bracket. We have our winners of the lower bracket finals. Quite anticlimactic, but uh, yeah, Team Vainglorious are the winners of the weekend league week 3 lower bracket finals. They are the champions. Team Vainglorious have won the Weekend Rift Wars Week 3 lower bracket finals. Amazing performances from the side of Team Vainglorious. They showed they showed resilience. They showed that they can continue to like come back despite how much Team Vintage played out of their minds. Like Team Vintage, they popped off in this tournament. This was their day in a way. Like Vainglorious, they may have won the final, but Team Vintage, I'm very impressed by their performances. They really played exceptionally well. But we have to give credit to our winners of this final, Team Vainglorious. Congratulations to them. They won the game and they won the series. They are the winners of the lower bracket finals and they will be moving up to the upper bracket finals. Congratulations to the Vainglorious members Astray, Trident, Touchy Shark, Jackie Love, and Inertia. You guys played exceptionally well. Congratulations and good luck to you guys in the upper bracket games. Till till then, to all the newer audiences here, thank you for tuning in to the stream. I'm Riddle. I will be streaming again a bit later today. It will be my rank climb series on my off rolls. So yeah, thank you guys for tuning into the stream. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to leave a like and also check out Wild Rift India. This was their tournament. They were the ones hosting this, so their Discord link is in the description. So make sure to check them out as well. Other than that, thank thank you for tuning into the stream. This is Riddle. Goodbye.